The PS5 Pro promises to bring higher fidelity graphics powered by the latest iteration of AMD's System on Chip, custom made for Sony. This is Sony's new flagship console and the second major revision to the pandemic-era hardware we first saw in 2020. And while the PS5 Slim gave us a compact form factor and a swappable disk drive, the Pro brings back the chunk. And the disk drive? Well, hope you don't mind spending a little extra to get one. Trading games and picking up discounted secondhand titles from GameStop might be going out of vogue, but repairability is very much in season. Let's get the teardown started. Popping off the 4 cosmetic panels on the exterior of the PS5 Pro reveals a mostly untouched exterior design, save for the major maintenance and repairability advancement in CMOS battery replacement. A replaceable CMOS battery, how novel. For those keeping count, this is the second time this week we're seeing a very easily accessible CMOS battery. Check out our Apple Mac Mini teardown for that other advancement in repairability. The PS5 Pro comes with a whopping 2TB of onboard storage, but just like the 1TB Slim and the original PS5, there's an easily accessible M2 bay available for storage upgrades. If you're looking for more storage, grab any M2 drive on the market, and shameless plug, we even sell 500GB, 1TB, and 2TB upgrade kits in the iFixit store. If you're hearing whirring noises from your console, chances are the fan is clogged up with dust bunnies. Thanks to the accessible design, the entire fan module can be removed without disassembling the entire console. A removable fan allows you to blast it with air with extreme prejudice without having to worry about knocking those dust bunnies and Cheeto crumbs even further into your precious $700 console. Finally, it's time to remove the security Torx screws all the way around the exterior shell. There's even a fake warranty sticker here at the bottom, what manufacturers like to call a tamper-proof sticker in the US, since the Magnuson-Moss Act prevents the likes of Sony from actually voiding your warranty if you want to take a peek inside your device. Another repairability shoutout that we found on the PS5 Slim 2, these little dots indicate the length of the screw that fits here, making reassembly a little easier. Of course, you should take pictures and notes wherever possible, or check out products like our magnetic FixMat to help you keep your projects organized. So far, so similar. There's not an awful lot here hinting at an upgrade, so let's dig a bit deeper by removing that new CMOS battery board in the corner and disconnecting a couple of cheeky coax cables. The main board is held in place with a few dozen screws. It takes a bit of time for sure, but it's far better than gluing everything down. Overall, not a big issue, just time consuming. This heatsink up top is held in place by thermal paste, and we've got more screws underneath. Let's remove the I/O board shield, and here's a very uncommon flex connector. Aside from being thick, it also uses an interesting spring-loaded latch mechanism. Push down on the spring-loaded bar at the back of the connector housing and slide the flex connector out. With the main assembly out, I'm prying away this metal shield held in place by more thermal grease underneath. And there's the mainboard in all its glory. Let's remove that heatsink bracket and pry away the bottom layer of metal shielding from the mainboard, also held in place by thermal paste. Finally, we have the new AMD SoC in full view, complete with a layer of liquid metal on top. Liquid metal is conductive, so it's far less forgiving of spills that might cause short circuits. It can also lead to performance issues if it spreads around under the chip unevenly. So when your console overheats right when somebody starts sniping you in Apex, don't panic. I mean, you're definitely dead, but your machine probably isn't. Follow our guide and try scraping off the old liquid metal and applying some fresh stuff. Now, before you go running around the house taking all your electronics with thermal paste and applying liquid metal to each of those CPUs, consider this. Just last week, we heard that Intel denied a return on an infamously unstable Raptor Lake CPU because the owner had applied liquid metal, which, unfortunately for him, had etched off the serial number and the batch number on that CPU. That was enough to void his warranty. The PS5 Pro board looks similar to the original PS5 and PS5 Slim boards, but there are differences. One of the more interesting changes is the addition of 2GB of SK Hynix DDR5 dedicated to the OS. That frees up the higher performance and far more expensive Samsung GDDR6 for its primary purpose, helping push pixels to your screen. So what's new in the PS5 Pro? Well, I can't tell you anything about frame rates. There are far better qualified people on YouTube that can talk about that. What I can tell you is that the redesigned CMOS housing is an iterative improvement on some maintenance-friendly designs that were already there, like the tool-free panel removal and highly accessible fan. But that really is the extent of it. Replacing the I/O panel is slightly easier in this model, but you have to remove several security Torx screws to get there. Also, the tamper-proof sticker or warranty void sticker on international versions is a repair-hostile move designed to dissuade consumers from opening their consoles. And of course, the lack of manuals and spare parts shows a general lack of enthusiasm on Sony's part to empower repair within their hardware ecosystem. All in all, the PS5 Pro feels like a stand-in to boost sales while development on the next generation of consoles is ongoing, and ever so subtle improvements, while welcome, won't address the lack of spare parts availability that would enable DIY repair.